Hello everybody, happy summer! Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this beaded swan. I'm posting this video a few days early. Oh, I think actually like a week early, but I'm going on vacation, so I'm just posting this early. So let's get started. What you'll need quite a lot of beads for this one. You will need 153 beads for the white part. I'm using these like pearly white beads. And you also need 2 beads for the eyes, 2 black beads for the eyes, and 3 orange beads for the beak. And for wire for the body, because we're going to make the wings separately and then attach them later, you will need 2 feet or 24 inches or 61 centimeters of wire for the body. And this is, I usually use black copper wire, but since it is white, the black doesn't look super great. So this is, I think, titanium wire, but it works just as well. I got it on firemangems.com, and it is 28 gauge wire. And for each of the wings, you will need a 10-inch or 25 centimeter piece of wire. You'll need 2 of these, 1 for each wing. And you will also need 8 inches or around 21 centimeters of wire to connect the wings onto the body. And you also need scissors to cut your wire and a ruler to measure your wire. And you also need something to hold your beads in. I'm just using these little bead trays, so just bead containers. So let's get started. We're going to start with our white beads and take your 2 feet or 24-inch piece of wire and fold it in half. And you're going to start on the body. And you're going to take 1 of your white beads and put it on your wire. And bring it down, all the way down to the crease in the middle that you made. Now we're kind of like gonna flip it over, hold it up there with our thumbs, and then take 1 wire, loop it around, and stick it through that single bead, like that. And then we're gonna pinch this with our fingers, and so it doesn't get off from the center. And we're gonna pull tight like that. And we're gonna hold this and then strip back and see if our wires are even. Yep, they are. So that means it's in the center. Now we're going to take 2 beads and we're making this little tail right there. So 2 beads and just put them on your wire. 1, 2. Bring them down. And now whatever wire does not have beads on it, we're going to loop around and stick through those beads and pull them tight. Now I can see the little tip of the tail that we're making. Now we're going to take 3 beads and put them on your wire. 1, 2, and 3. Bring them down and do the same process. Take your empty wire, loop it around, and stick it through the 3 beads. And pull tight. Just like that. And now we're going to take 5 beads, and this is where we're going to start arching up, if you can see. We just did this little section, and now we're going to do that right there. It's right above my nail. So we're going to do 5, and then we're going to start arching up in order to make the back of the swan. So, put 5 beads on your wire. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now bring those down. And instead of putting them just straight across like that and tighten them straight across like that, we're actually going to kind of just bend them over like this, and then so it makes a little arch above those 3 beads that we put on earlier. So I'll do it again. So put it down, and kind of just arch it over like that. And you can do that after you have strung the wire through. So string the wire through like that. This is kind of similar to the beaded turtle if you've done that. So just to continue as normal and pull tight, but then arch it over, if that makes sense. You can watch the video, or you can go back in the video and watch it again if you need to. Now we're going to put 7 beads on our wire. So 1, oops, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Bring those down. And what we're going to do now, we are going to loop our wire around as usual, but then this time only stick it through like 3 to 4 beads, just around half of them, and pull tight, and then arch them next to it. Now we're going to loop our wire around, and we're going to stick it through that hole that we made earlier. So move it around and stick it through this. So it's like going back and holding on to the last row that we did. And now we're going to stick it back through the row that we just put on. Starting here, I think it's a little blurry. And then just continue on as usual, stick it through the rest of the beads, and pull tight. There we go. And this way we don't have to go back later and tighten up all the beads, all the bead arches, which that's what I did in my turtle video. I like weaved it through the beads. I don't know if that makes sense, but okay. So our next row is going to be 8 beads. So put 8 beads on your wire. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Bring them down. And now you're going to loop your wire around and only stick the end of it through 4 of the beads. Has to be roughly in the middle. There we go, like this. And you're going to pull, and it kind of arches for you, like that. And now we're going to do that same thing. We're going to take the wire and loop it through the hole of the previous row and go like that. I'll do that one more time so you can see it. So I have my wire. I'm going to loop it around and through the hole of the previous row of beads that I put on, and then pull tight, and then you're going to nestle it between those beads, just like that. And now you're going to put your wire back through the row that you're working on right now. Put it through the rest of them and pull tight. Like that. And now you're going to put 9 beads on your wire. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Bring those down and do the same thing. So you're going to put it through roughly half of them. I'm just going to put them through, string my wire through 5 of the beads. I believe that's 5. Pull it tight, it will curl. You kind of align it, and I'm going to zoom in this time. So we're going to loop it and stick it through right there. And pull it tight like that. Nestle it in between the beads. There we go. Alright, now we're going to go back on into the same row. String through the rest of those beads. And pull tight. Just like that. Now we're going to do a row of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There we go. Bring it down. Take your wire, string it through 4 of those beads, not all 8. 4 of them. And now, same thing, go back 1 row and stick it through that gap. Stick it through, pull it through, and pull it tight and kind of rest it in between the beads. And now you're going to go back into it, and the beads that you haven't strung through on that row, string the wire through them. I'm struggling here. All right, and now pull. Gonna pull tight, and your swan body might get a little misshapen when you're doing it, when you're beading it, but don't worry, because we will fix it later. And now we're going to do a row of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Bring it down, and now we're going to loop your wire around. Only put it through 3 of the beads. And pull out. And it's getting a little smaller, so, but still arch it. Then go back 1 and stick it through that space. And pull tight. It's going to nestle between the beads. And go right back into your row and string your wire through the remaining 3 beads on your row. Like that. And now we're gonna pull tight. We could reshape it a little bit if needed. And your swan body is taking shape. All right, now we're going to put on 4 beads. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Bring the beads down and string your wire through 2 of the beads. Pull tight. And now we don't have to arch these because there's not a ton of them. Now string your wire through the previous row of beads and pull tight like that, and then go right back into your current row and string it through the rest of the beads in the row. Like that. Pull tight, just like that. And now we're going to do another 4 beads on our wire, and we're done with the looping back thing, so that's good. We're starting on the neck now. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Bring back and take your wire, the empty wire, and string it through all the beads on your wire. Just like that, and pull them tight. Now we're going to take 3 beads on our wire. 1, 2, 3. Bring them down. Do the same process. Pull tight. And you want it to pull tight and then kind of just go back a little bit. So you don't want it flat. You don't want it flat like this. When you pull tight, it will just naturally go back like that. Now we're going to put 2 beads on our wire. 1, 2. And do the same thing. And this time, we're not going to fold it over. We're just going to go straight up. Straight up like that. And now we're going to do lots of rows of 2 for the whole neck. We're going to do 9 more rows of 2. So we've already done 1 row. So 2 more beads. This is row number 2. Row number 3. Row number 4. Row number 5. Row number 6. Row number 7. Row number 8. row number 9. And finally, row number 10. In this row, we're going to nestle in between the 2 previous rows, like this, and then we're going to turn it up and press it. So it makes kind of like a little triangle shape. I'll do that one more time. So it's like this. And we're going to go like this, and then nestle it in between those 2 rows. And then you can pull tight. Just like that. Now our next row, we're going to add the eyes. So take one of your black eye beads, put it on your wire. Take one of your white beads, put it on your wire, and then get your last black bead and put it on your wire. And now do the same process and have it nestle in between those 2 rows. So take your empty wire, loop it inside, string it through the beads and pull tight. And now you have your little eyes on your swan. And now we are done with white beads for now until we do the wings. And now we're going to add our beak. So we're going to add 2 orange beads. And do the same process. Hold tight. You can see the beak. Almost looks like a duck right now. Well, with a super long neck. And your last orange bead. And pull tight. And there you have your beak and your swan. Well, the swan's body without the wings, you can probably keep it like this if you like, if you don't want to hassle with the wings, but I think the wings are worth it. Anyways, okay, now let's finish it off. Let's take our one of our wires and loop it around and through that bead and pull tight. Now we're going to take our other wire, loop it around through the same bead and pull tight. And now we're going to take both of them and twist them together. Now take your scissors and trim off the excess. And we're going to fold that little pointy thing down so it doesn't look weird and it doesn't scratch us. So now here is our swan's body, and it actually looks really good just like this. But as I said, the wings are worth it to add. So keep watching for the wings. All right, so let's start on the wings. You're going to want to take one of your 10-inch or 25-centimeter pieces of wire and fold it in half, just like you did for the body. And we're going to start off with putting 4 white beads on our wire. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we're going to kind of hold that in the center with our thumb again and take one wire and loop it around and through all of those beads. Just like that. And now we're going to pull it not all the way tight because I have a feeling, yeah, this isn't quite centered. So what happens if it's not quite centered is we just pull on this and then it loosens it. And then we pull on whatever side of the wire is shorter. So yep, that's good. And now we pull both of them to tighten it fully. Now we're going to add a row of 5 beads. 1, 2, 3, oops. 3, 4, and 5. Now take your wire that does not have the beads on it and loop it around and through your beads on the other wire. And pull tight. And you're going to want to have your beads, all of them on one side, just form a straight line. And this side, it can be curved out. So just make sure to have your beads on one side be straight, or mostly straight. Now you're going to do a row of 6 beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. Bring it down. Do the same process. Pull tight. Make sure to just make those beads straight. Now you're going to do another row of 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Bring it down. Get your empty wire and string it through the beads on the other wire and pull tight. Now we're going to do a row of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Bring it down. Do the same process. Pull tight. Now you're going to do a row of 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Bring it down. Do the same process. Pull tight. Make sure the beads are straight, just like that. Now we're going to do a row of 3. 1, 2, 3. Bring it down. And pull tight. And then we're going to do a row of 2. 1, 2. And then finally we're going to do a row of 1. Might be slightly tricky because there's not a lot of wire left to work with. So sorry about that. Now we're going to tie it off just like we did before. Loop one wire around and through. And if you can't do this because there's not a lot of wire left, you can just twist the 2 ends together and that won't be such a big deal. But I like doing it this way. And if I can manage it, I do it. And loop it around through the bead and then twist your wires together. And trim out the excess. And here is one wing for your swan. This is going to be just like that. Beautiful. Now we're going to do the other one. And since it is the literal exact same process, I am going to just do it off camera, and you can rewatch the part where I make this one if you need any more help. So I'm going to make the other wing, and I will see you in a bit. Alright, I have both of my wings made, and now it's time to connect them. And so this one, let's see, is gonna go on, let's see, the right, actually. This one is gonna go on the right. And then this one is gonna go on the left. It's really up to you what wings you put on each side, whatever just looks best to you. But I'm going to go with that. So let's lay them out, and now we're going to take our wire, our 8-inch piece of wire, and we're going to take the swan and stick the wire through these beads right here. So right there. Stick it through all 4 of those beads. There we go. And pull tight. And then it should be centered. You should just, it's totally not centered. Yeah. Make sure it's centered like that. There we go. And now we're going to take one side of the wire, and then if you see, these are like little tiny loops created by the wire. We're going to loop it, or string our wire through the second loop. So I guess third loop if this one counts. So 1, 2, 3. String it through. And make sure not to kink your wire. Like that. And now we're going to do it on the same on this side. So count with your wire. 1, 2, 3. And string it through this one. There we go. And now we're going to string our wings onto the wire. And let's see the orientation we want them. I want mine like this. So I'm going to string the wire through the 4 beads that are on the edge. So just like that, like that. And now we're going to bring it down until it's touching it, like that. And now we have one of our wings mostly attached, very loosely attached. And now we're going to do the same thing to the other wing. So it goes like this, and string your wire through those 4 beads, just like that. Bring it down. There we go. And now we have to secure the wings onto it. So we're gonna fold, kind of just get one wing out of the way while we work on one wing. So we're going to take this, the wire, and loop it around and through one of these rows of beads like this. The one that's directly under our wing, if you can kind of see that. And then you might need to align the beads a little bit. So loop it around and string it through that right there. If you can see, it's coming out the other end. And then pull tight, just like that. Now we're going to do that on the other wing as well. So our wing, it might be easier to see it on this one. We're going to loop it around and through this row right here, and it would be 1, 2, 3 rows up from that neck right there. So 1, 2, 3. It would be a row of 4. You might need to wiggle it around a little bit. And it's okay if, like me, you can only get it through 3 beads, and then you have to go back in and string it through that last bead. Oh, I don't know if you saw that, but it got through. Now we're going to pull it tight and be careful not to kink it. And there we go. Now we can pull it tight, and we have both of our wings attached now onto our swan, which is great. And now with the extra wire, we are going to twist it like this, and it'll kind of cross, and then you can kind of push it in a little bit. But let's trim off the extra wire like that, and then push it in. And now you can position your swan however you would like. And I like to bend the neck of mine back because that's what actual swans look like. And there you have your little swan. That was a little more work than usual, but I think they turned out amazing, and the wings can like fold out like that. And yeah, they're so cool. Anyways, so I hope you all enjoyed this tutorial, and it was nice and easy to follow, even though it might have been a little more difficult. But make sure to leave below in the comments what you thought of it, and maybe suggestions for next month's tutorial. I hope you all have a great day and a great beginning of your summer, and I will see you all next month. Bye! And then you got to be kidding me. All right. Hey, look, they're forming a heart.